Hey, so we're going to take you through some of the things that we do when we first get into every single day at EPP. So before we get started with any throwing, with any kind of workout, we want a proper warm-up done. So we start out getting on the ground with a foam roller. We get a lot of soft tissue work, especially for our lower half. And we get some upper body soft tissue work with lacrosse balls. And then we always go through some form of a dynamic warm-up. We're going to have a basic dynamic, and then we have a little bit more agility-based dynamic that we'll do. And we'll just kind of mix it up throughout the year. So I'm going to turn it over to Casey, and he's going to walk you through the foam rolling, the crossball stuff, and the dynamic warm-up.
Hey guys, how we doing? I'm going to go over first of all what we're going to do when we first get in here. We're going to get the foam roller going and maybe the lacrosse ball. But to start off, you're going to go grab a foam roller. We're going to be on the ground to start. We're going to start about mid-back here. We're just going to get this whole back area. So you can have hands here across, or you can just be here. All right, we're going to get about 30 seconds on each spot. So every place that I mentioned, just realize you're going to be about 30 seconds. If you have a tender or tight spot, we're going to hold it there, and you're going to just leave it there until you feel like a release, and it'll be extra pressure where you're sore. So you can start there. We're going to have hands across, then across the other way, and you can have a neutral one before that. Okay. Then after that, we're going to get that same spot to where we're just below our shoulder blades. We're going to have our hands behind our ears. We're going to relax, take a deep breath. We're going to reach back and try to touch our head to the ground. All right? And you're going to get a little thoracic spine work there and stretch out at the same time. Okay? So from there, we're going to scoot down a little bit. We're going to get both glutes. So we'll be leaning on one side and get one. Lean on the other one to get the other side. Okay? Then from there, we're going to go to the IT band. This is just the side of your leg. We're going to turn. Use this leg to help you. We're going to get the straight leg here. We're just going to go back and forth. Like I said, all of them are going about 30 seconds. If you have any tight or tender spots, just hold. Okay? Then from there, we're going to turn all the way over, get our quads. You can go both at the same time, or we can go lean to one side or the other. Okay? From quads, we'll go to the other side, which will be hamstrings. You can go both at the same time. Or if you want more pressure, you can go laying on top of the other leg or heel to toe for the most pressure. Okay, then from there, we're going to go inner groin, which will be a lot like a dog and a fire hydrant. So thinking with that in mind, we're going to go back and forth here, then to the other side. Then last but not least, we want to make sure we get our calves. So, just like the hamstring or the quad, you can go 2 at a time, or you can go 1, or you can stack them for more pressure. All right? And also, while we're on the ground with the calf work, if you want to get some more actual spots and points, we can end with calf work where we're straight back and forth on the back of the calf, or we can go to the side and then the inside here. Okay? The outside, you'll just turn your leg this way, go back and forth just like you're using the foam roller to get the outside of the calf. And then you'll actually turn like this 90-90 type stretch. You'll have it that way where you can go back and forth to get the inside of the calf. All right? From there, we'll get to the wall and do our upper body. And we're ready to go. We talked about some of the ground warm-ups, and then from here now I'm going to go over some of the wall stuff. So this will be upper body stuff primarily, but you can do a lot of this upper body stuff with a wall, but you can also go back to the ground and do a lot of it on the ground if wall space isn't available. So the first thing is we want to get our chest, and we want to get our back and everything around our scat addressed with this lacrosse ball here. So just in general, we tell people that so they know your chest muscles are set up horizontally, okay? And so that's why we go the way that we do when we're going side to side, rolling on the wall here. So the first thing is you're going to set the lacrosse ball just a little bit below your collarbone, and we're going to go back and forth, okay, just like we did with the foam roller. And you still want to think about 30 seconds, or if you have any tight spots, let's say I'm going back and forth, I find a particularly tight spot, then we want to move the arm up and down. I'll move it up and down in a range of motion on that spot, because I'm trying to work out a knot or a tender spot there. Okay, so you're gonna go about 30 seconds for each pec. Then we're gonna go to our back. For our back work, we're gonna wanna think, address the shoulder, address the back of the shoulder. Then we're gonna address between our spine and our scap here. So we're gonna be working right here, okay? So, just like the pec work and the work on the ground over there, we're gonna get the shoulder back and forth, thinking about 30 seconds for each part, like I said. We're gonna go back to the shoulder. You can move up and down with your body or just move the arm. Makes no difference. We're just trying to create pressure and warm up the tissue, okay? So we're going there, then we're gonna go all the way across. And you gotta make sure you get it low enough to where you can go up and down in the spot in the area that we're talking about, okay? Notice my posture. I'm not hunched over, but I'm not leaning back like this. I just have a nice neutral spine and I'm upright. Okay, from there, if you find any tender spots, just like on the chest, we're gonna reach and breathe and just create a range of motion. Okay, I'm just trying to work out a tender or tight spot there. All right, from there, you're gonna do the exact same thing. You're just gonna go the opposite side. So you'll go here, the front or the side here. We're gonna go the back of the shoulder, then that scap. Then you're all done. Time to move on.
So before we move on to the dynamic warm-up, which we do as a group, after we finish up with our soft tissue work, we'd like for guys to be able to get an opportunity to stretch any problem areas that they might have. So say you have a tight chest, it's an opportunity to stretch out your chest a little bit more. Say you have a certain tight area, maybe your hamstrings, it's an opportunity to get that work in as well. So maybe get here a little earlier than your actual scheduled time so you can get all that extra work in, get your foam rolling in, get your lacrosse ball stuff in, get a good stretch in on any problem areas before we head over as a group to the turf area and start a dynamic warm-up.
All right, now we're moving on to the dynamic warm-up. The first one is just going to be walking on our heels. All right, with all of our movements, it's really important to just have good posture and not be overextended or overly flexed forward, okay? So we're going to have a good posture. First one is just going to be walking on our heels right here, okay? We'll be doing these as a group together, but I just want you to see. Movement 2 is going to be walking on our toes. Right up on our toes, stay up on our toes. Movement 3 is going to be a lateral lunge. So we're going to lunge laterally, and we're going to, at the same time, reach overhead. Okay? Then we're going to switch. Lateral lunge the other way while we're reaching overhead. Movement 4. The first move is we're going to be grabbing this knee here, and we're going to drive down through our glute, through the ground, and give it a slight pull on this knee. After you pull on that knee, we're going to lunge out. Okay, then after the lunge, we're going to have both hands down. We're going to drive our hips into the ground and get that stretch all in our groin area. Turn and reach for the sky. Not going to reach back. We're going to reach straight up for the sky as we exhale. Okay. Then with both hands down, we're going to lean back. Get a little bit of a calf stretch. Back into the next one. Okay, and once we're up, tug that leg again into the next lunge. Both hands down on the inside of that leg. The inside hand is going to reach up. Big exhale. Both hands down again. Get a little lean for a calf and hamstring stretch. Back to a neutral position. Back up to the next one. The fifth movement is going to be a quad reach. All right, so we're going to go opposite hand, opposite foot. We're not going to grab the toes, but we're going to grab right around the top foot where it meets the ankle. We're going to have there. We're going to drive through the ground with the down leg and reach for the sky. Okay, when we drive through the ground and reach for the sky, we're going to get a little bit in that quad, but we're also going to get the hip flexor. Okay, so you're going to grab that opposite, reach, a little tug, go straight to the next one. Reach. The next movement is called a cradle walk. You're going to have one hand under the knee, and then another one, depending upon your flexibility, will be around the ankle. Okay, it might be a little bit higher, it might be a little lower. You can go over or under with the grip. The important part is that when we pull, we're going to pull from the knee. We're not going to pull from the foot, as it's going to put pressure on the knee and you might get injured. Okay, so we're going to be here, get a little bit of a hop on this down leg, drive through your down leg, get a little pull. Other side, right here, little pull. The next movement is going to be including a little side shuffle. We're going to get actually moving here instead of being the slow, monotonous ones we were doing before. We're going to get a full side shuffle in, and we're going to swing our arms. Okay, get them overhead. We're going to be side shuffling like so. The next movement's going to be high knees. A lot of people have done these before and already understand them and know them. The way we want you to do them here is we want to make sure that when we have this knee up, the toe is not down, it is tucked towards the knee. Okay, and we're going to have our feet out in front of us. Have a good posture, go from there. So it'll look like this, slow motion, but we're going to actually run, so it'll be right here. The next movement is a butt kick. All right, and just like the high knees, I want to make sure our toes are tucked towards our knee. We're not going to have the traditional butt kick where our feet are back here. Okay, we're going to have toe tucked towards the knee, like I said, and the key is to keep our heel and our feet underneath our whole body. Okay, so we're going to drive our heels up towards our butt, trying to stay underneath ourselves. It'll look like this. The next movement is called side touches, just simply because you're going to be slapping or touching the sides of your feet. You're going to be moving forward, and it's going to look like a swinging motion with each foot. So it'll look something like this. Next is a side shuffle. So we're going to be moving laterally. We're going to get low. We're not clicking our heels together, but we're driving off the outside foot, moving laterally. Our next movement is a bound with rebound. So you're going to bound forward like a frog leap. So we're going to be out. And then from there, as soon as you land, we're going to jump and go straight up. Okay, so together, we're going to bound out, then rebound up like you're getting a basketball. The next move is an inchworm. So we're going to bend over, walk out with our hands to where we're comfortable, and then walk back in with our calves.
So there you have it. That's our general dynamic that we do. Most days there's a few different versions that we might change it as throughout the year. There's also a more agility-based version that we'll introduce later on to you guys. I want to really emphasize this is something we do almost every single day in here. It's really easy to take it easy or not go full bore on each one of these movements. We really need you guys to take each movement completely seriously and go all out on each one. If we start to go halfway, midway through the year, we aren't getting the same type of warm-up. At the same time, we're also picking up our throwing at a higher level, can really lead to injury. So the main thing I ask is we take these things seriously, do them properly, and work hard. Thanks.